Hello and welcome to the 2019 season preview of the Madison Scouts. Madison Scouts are one of DCI's legendary corps, founded in 1938. They've been a DCI finalist all but 6 times in history. They're the 1975 and 1988 DCI World Champion. But over the last few years, the corps' design team and their finishes of the season have struggled. Last season, 2018, 16th place, 82.988 their final score in DCI World Championship semifinals. That 2018 finish, 16th place, the lowest finish in history for the Madison Scouts. Now, last season, lots of debate about the show that they put out. They had the show called Heart and Soul. Some thought it was very well-designed show and it made sense, and others thought that the show made no sense, had no really great design ideas behind it. 16th place last year leads to changes. When your core is struggling, same thing as if you're a football team and struggling, and you're gonna get rid of the design staff in the business of drum corps, just as you would get rid of the defensive coordinator or the offensive coordinator in football. So that's a little bit of background on the Madison Scouts. So now leading into this season, a new design team. We'll get to that a little later with the 2019 staff members. It'll be interesting to see what they bring along. It's looking like they're going to have a kind of back to the future strategy where you're looking at ideas that might have been pushing the boundaries of DCI 10, 20 years ago, but now kind of are looked at as old and not what a corps should be bringing to the field. It would be very interesting to see what they bring, but we'll get to that a little later. 2019 schedule that the Madison Scouts have put together. Go through a few bullet points here. June 22nd, they start their season at Drums on Parade in Madison, Wisconsin. Kind of a nice home show to start the season. See where they fare against some of the corps they'll be competing against all season long. Over that next week, the first week of the season, 3 more shows, DCI Crossroads Summer Music Games in Cincinnati, and then the first premier event of the season for the Madison Scouts, DCI Central Indiana in Muncie, Indiana. You can catch that one live on Flow Marching. As the season progresses, they kind of stay in the Midwest for the later parts of June, first part of their season, and early parts of July. They stay in the Midwest, really only traveling between a few states, between like Ohio, Indiana, Wisconsin, Illinois, and Minnesota throughout this first 2 weeks of the tour. Moving on, later on in tour, all events highlighted in green can be caught live on Flow Marching. DCI Central Indiana, definitely a premier event, but the first one where there's kind of a lot of corps, and this is really one of the shows where one of the first shows this year where there is a lot of corps. That's DCI Menominee in Menominee, Wisconsin on July 7th. That show is what has been DCI Minneapolis or Minnesota in the years past, but struggling to get TCF Bank Stadium in Minneapolis this year, and kind of just financially correct where DCI doesn't have 15, 20 corps going to this show anymore. Move it to a smaller venue. University of Wisconsin venue in Menominee, Wisconsin. So it'll be interesting to see how that venue helps guide the tour along. Madison will be at that, competing with some of those corps again. They'll be with all summer. Over the next week, then, Minnesota, and then they finally break free of kind of like that Wisconsin, Illinois, Ohio thing, and they go to the Colts home show, Dubuque, Iowa Music on the March on July 12th. The Tour of Champions event series show in DeKalb, Illinois on July 13th. then move their way down to the southern part of the United States, Bentonville, Arkansas, and then Texas tour will begin. They'll be at DCI Central Texas and Belton, Texas, and then 2 nights later, DCI Southwestern Championship in San Antonio. They'll culminate Texas tour in Mesquite, Texas, with DCI Mesquite on July 22nd. Then the final third of tour here. Keep moving along the southern portion, DCI Southern Mississippi and Hattiesburg, July 26th, then DCI Birmingham. New venue this year for that event in Trussville, Alabama. And then the second regional event, July 27th, in the DCI Southeastern Championship in Atlanta. Come up the eastern seaboard, leading up to the DCI Eastern Classic appearance for Madison on August 2nd in Allentown. Then it's on to DCI World Championships with 2 more shows in there, DCI Pittsburgh and the Lake Erie Fanfare, another show with a new venue this year in Edinburgh, Pennsylvania. And then DCI World Championships, you see August 8th through the 10th. They'll definitely be there the 8th because that's prelims. 9th, they'll most likely be there for semifinals, but definitely the main goal for Madison this year is get back to finals and make Madison a force to be reckoned with again, not only for finals, but moving up the leaderboard. It'll be interesting to see what the design team can bring them this season. Now, the student leaders for the Corps this year, the drum majors, 4 selected for Madison from their press release of drum majors. Nathan Check, this is his 4th and final season with the Madison Scouts. He goes to the University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire for music ed bachelor's degree. Daniel Middle is in his 2nd season with the Madison Scouts, goes to that UW-Eau Claire for a double major in music education and psychology applied behavior analysis. Justin Oler is from Brunswick, Ohio. This is his 1st season in the Madison Scouts. He attends Baldwin Wallace University for a music education bachelor's degree. He studies saxophone at college as well. And finally, Dominic Castro, he's 17 years old and leading a drum corps, definitely a great feat there. This is also his 1st season with the Madison Scouts. He is the Greendale High School from Wisconsin drum major. Greendale, a consistent Bands of America Grand National semifinalist, so definitely he has the experience of leading a large group and a good performing arts group. So now talking about the 2019 main staff for the Madison Scouts. These are the individuals that are having the most influence on the program that the Corps puts out this summer. There's also all the instructional staff and the techs and all that behind the scenes for the Corps. So kind of just writing down this list, a bio of a few individuals I'll give along the way. Chris Kobnick, he's the CEO of Forward Performing Arts, the umbrella organization for the Madison Scouts. Dan Peterson is the Forward Performing Arts Programs Director. He oversees the different programs within Forward Performing Arts, the Sound Sport team, WGI Wins Group, other things, events. He's been involved in the marching arts since he was 12 years old. He has a bachelor's degree in French from the University of Kansas and a master's degree in international studies from the University of Oregon. David Lofi is the specific focus on the Madison Scouts. He's the corps director. He is a Madison Scouts alumni. He marched 2012 to 2014 on baritone and served as drum major. He has a bachelor's degree in music education from UW-Eau Claire, and he is currently pursuing a master's degree in music education from the University of Illinois. James Elver, this is the guy that is having the most influence on the show they put out this summer. He is the artistic director, call him program coordinator, whatever you want. He's the one that is kind of having that main influence on the show. I'll get to what that show is about in just a bit. He marched back in the 70s. He wants to kind of take the ideas that were around back then and mix them with today and see what he gets. He's the artistic director for the Corps. Mike Hardeek, he is a visual designer and will serve as the visual caption manager for the Madison Scouts this season. Chris Murphy, He is the front ensemble arranger and manager for the corps this summer. He works with Brownsburg and Plainfield high schools in Indiana. He marched at the Spirit of Atlanta, the Cavaliers, and also went on to march WGI with Music City Mystique. Chuck Gaffier will be the brass arranger and caption head for the Madison Scouts. He has marched and has taught at the Colts. He's a music adjudicator around the nation and all different circuits. He's also the band director at Hawthorne Middle School South in Illinois. Ralph Pace will be a visual designer for the Madison Scouts. He's a DCI Hall of Famer, and he has worked with many drum corps around the nation in his time in the activity. Derek Shannon II, he will be the battery ranger, sound designer, and percussion manager, so he has a bunch of different roles this summer with the corps. Michael Turner, he'll be a visual designer and color guard caption manager. He has worked with both the Madison Scouts, as he does currently, and the Santa Clara Vanguard over the years. He judges for DCI, BOA, and WGI. Andrew Fortuna is the battery manager for the corps, and Andrew McAfee will be the percussion ensemble specialist. So this summer, 2019 spring training, May 19th through June 15th, from when Madison moves in till they're right in the depth of where they want to be, they'll be at the FFA Leadership Center in Trafalgar, Indiana. And then between June 16th and 21st, right before their first show, on June 22nd in Madison, they'll be somewhere in southern Wisconsin so they get closer to their tour locations. That location, though, in southern Wisconsin is to be determined. So now, the 2019 production for the Madison Scouts. This is entitled Majestic. Quoting directly from the Madison Scouts website, throughout its history, the Majestic Theater has entertained audiences with its variety of shows, from vaudeville to big band jazz to today's modern rock bands. Close quote. So this show is kind of a tribute to the Majestic Theater, which is based in the corps' hometown of Madison, Wisconsin. James Elver, the artistic director for the Madison Scouts, has kind of laid out his plans for the show this summer. In multiple interviews with DCI.org, he has said what he plans to do, and they're very interesting. Two of the big takeaways that I've kind of walked away with from reading those articles, the biggest is that this show's not going to include any props. The whole field is going to be empty, letting the performers march wherever they want. Based on the drill, of course. Letting the drill designers have that open landscape of where they can put performers at a specific time in the show. Elvard's trying to take ideas that were around when he marched in the 70s and combine them with ideas that are around today, and that those staff members I just walked through. You got everything from Elvard, who marched back in the 70s, to somebody like David Lofi, who is the corps director that has marched in just the past few years as these new ideas have come about in the marching arts. One of the things that really doesn't change much, no matter if it's in the 70s or now, is musical selections. And really, he, being Elvard, and the rest of the design team, has taken music that I think will combine both the past with the new, and I think this will work very well. Musical selections for the corps, they're listed in this Majestic logo down below, the Afterburners Backlash, that part. So their musical selections are Afterburners by Chuck Gaffier, Backlash by Simon Dobson, 715 Creeks by Bon Iver, The Young Person's Guide to the Orchestra by Benjamin Britten, Spinning Wheel by Blood, Sweat, and Tears, and One Voice by Barry Manilow. So really, I see potential for the Madison Scouts. I think it really depends on what these corps, like the Crossmen and Fan of Regiment, who is another corps that is really hanging on and really needs to find some new innovation. I think it all depends on what these other corps bring out this summer. And Spirit of Atlanta, some of these corps that are right on the brink of being in finals. I think that it all depends what they bring out. If they bring out stuff that is totally new and innovative and great, and the performers are great and the design's great, then the Madison Scouts are really in deep trouble. But if they bring out something like they've been bringing out, like they don't take a next step into the future and kind of explore other design ideas, I think that the Madison Scouts show this season has potential. I think it'll definitely be a crowd pleaser. I think a lot of people will be like, that was a great show. Even if they're not doing so well, I don't think they'll get the backlash they did last season. And really, that a lot of that was from the Madison Scouts alumni that kind of just wants to return to this. So I think that they'll please a lot of those alumni and those people that are not happy with what they brought last year, but I think they still need to, I will not be surprised if this show definitely changes from the first time they perform it on June 22nd to the last time they perform it on August 9th or 10th. I think that this show will not stay the same it is. I don't think there's a chance that they can stay in this no prop zone all season and still succeed, or kind of, because you can't back up in design, and I think that's really what they're doing right now. A few things before I close on this season preview of the Madison Scouts. Make sure to visit drumcorpscentral.weebly.com for all the latest updates from the DCI tour this summer. Make sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DrumCorpsGeek and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Drum Corps Central. Thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day.